In a distant corner of the universe, a cosmic catastrophe caused two black holes to collide and merged as one. This distraction released intense streams of light, which set out on a journey across the universe in search of a new place to exist. After traveling the cosmos, they arrived at a blue planet with glittering gold lights. This planet was Earth. As the Neons explored this fascinating new world, they experienced the wonder and complexity of human life. Toshimi is a 16-year-old high schooler at Yaki High School. He seems to be living a normal life, but something is amiss. While walking to school on an early Monday morning, one of the Neons sees him and was intrigued by the liquid coming down his face, so decides to follow him. He walks through his school's crowded hallway, with his head down as he tries to avoid the gaze of his cruel classmates. The students around him are all laughing and pointing, making fun of him as they are getting ready to play the challenge game.
Challenge game. Creators Yaki High School bullies. The players must complete an almost impossible challenge within a set time, and they can't reveal to anyone that they're playing the game. Non-participation is not an option, and losing means a severe beating.
Toshimi knows all too well the consequences of losing, as he silently curses the day he ever crossed paths with them. His bullies gather around him, holding up a phone. "It's time for your challenge, Toshimi. You have to kiss Emi in the next 3 hours." Toshimi's heart sank. No, not Emi, he thought. She's my friend. Filled with fear, he begged them to change the challenge, but they told him it was not possible, as his challenge had already begun and time was ticking. Meanwhile, the Neon that was following Toshimi is carefully observing what's happening with these humans. Sitting in class, looking at the clock as time goes by, he now has less than 30 minutes to complete the challenge, but he can't even bring himself to approach Emi, let alone kiss her. The recess bell rings, and everyone is getting ready to leave the classroom. Toshimi thinks to himself, I need to do it fast. Maybe I'll tell her I tripped, and she won't get upset. Feeling a small glimpse of hope that his plan might work, he started to walk toward Emi. His bullies are discreetly holding a phone from afar, laughing and pushing each other, as they are the only ones who know what Toshimi is about to do. Toshimi pretends to trip on a desk and starts to fall slowly towards Emi with his lips all puffed up, ready to kiss her. At that moment, another student accidentally pushes him, and he just about misses her and falls to the floor. Everyone is staring at him and laughing. His bullies laugh especially loud at his failed attempt. Emi asks if he is okay. Yes, I'm fine, he replies while picking himself up. He now needs to come up with a plan B, or else his bullies will beat him up if he loses the challenge game. Nearly 3 hours passed, and as time was running out, Toshimi became more and more panicked that he would lose the challenge game. He can hear the taunts and laughter of his bullies ringing in his ears. Gathering all his courage to complete his challenge, Toshimi approaches Emi again. To attempt to kiss her, his heart is pounding in his chest. He tells himself, maybe she is secretly in love with me and will be happy to kiss me, even though deep down he knows this isn't true. Emi was standing outside the classroom with her friends when Toshimi approached her, and with only a few minutes left to complete his challenge, he asked her, "Can I kiss you?" She is just staring, confused, not sure if this was a prank or what was going on. Suddenly, one of Toshimi's bullies points at his wrist and lip messages him that he only has 1 minute left to complete his challenge. Toshimi, frantic with fear, grabs Emi by the arm, pulls her close to him, and is now desperately trying to force her to kiss him. Emi struggles to break free, but Toshimi won't let go. "I have to win this challenge," he cries. Scared and confused, she can feel her uniform ripping as Toshimi pulls on her. "What's wrong with you? We're just friends," she cries. Emi forcefully pushes Toshimi away, clutching on her torn uniform, and runs off. Toshimi falls to the ground, his heart racing as he realizes he's failed the challenge and embarrassed himself in front of all his classmates. His bullies are laughing in the background, recording the whole thing on their phones. As this unfolds, the Neon observing Toshimi's ordeal becomes increasingly intrigued by the challenge game, finding it incredibly exciting, and it's certain that coming to Earth was the right choice. Emi's friends rush to her side to comfort her as she tries to process what just happened. Toshimi is left alone, feeling more isolated and defeated than ever before. The final school bell of the day rings, and Toshimi gathers his belongings, preparing himself for the inevitable consequences of losing the challenge game. As he exits the classroom, Kenzo, one of his class bullies, approaches him and slings his arm around Toshimi's shoulder. "Ready for your punishment, loser?" he whispers, laughing and pushing Toshimi before walking away with his friends. Toshimi's eyes well up as he quickens his pace, desperate to avoid being seen in such a vulnerable state. He knows that he can't keep running away forever, but the mere thought of facing his bullies feels overwhelming. He flees to an abandoned corner of the school building, hoping to wait out the storm until his bullies grow tired and leave. He sinks to the floor, clutching on his backpack while his hands tremble uncontrollably. Meanwhile, the Neon eagerly anticipates the next round of the challenge game among the humans. It hovers around Toshimi, softly chanting in a faint, squeaky voice right in his ear.
Challenge game, challenge game.
Toshimi hears the Neon's voice and startles, realizing he was supposed to be alone. He quickly grabs his bag and starts running home. While walking, exhausted from running, he suddenly finds himself ambushed by his relentless bullies. They corner him in a side street, with the intent of punishing him for losing his weekly challenge. Kenzo forcefully pushes Toshimi to the ground and says, "Your pathetic attempts were utterly laughable, and I made sure to capture all your embarrassing highlights on my phone." The Neon hovers swiftly around them in confusion, wondering why they haven't set a new challenge for Toshimi yet, as such games are non-existent on its home planet. Kenzo instructs his friends to mercilessly kick Toshimi while he remains helpless on the ground. The Neon's emotions shift from excitement to sadness, as it feels the intense physical pain emanating from Toshimi's energy. It struggles to comprehend why humans inflict suffering upon their own kind. Witnessing more liquid streaming down Toshimi's face, the Neon becomes increasingly distressed. Toshimi pleads with them to stop hitting him, but Kenzo heartlessly responds, "If you had won, none of this would have happened to you. You just had to give a little kiss to Emi. How hard was that?" Meanwhile, his other two bullies continue to ruthlessly kick Toshimi's defenseless body as he curdles himself in the corner. After enduring a few minutes of being beaten, now lying on the floor, Toshimi gasps for air, as his face begins to swell up from the blows. Each breath becomes a struggle. Kenzo's laughter echoes with malicious satisfaction. "One thing is for certain, Toshimi. The universe is definitely against you." The Neon thinks to itself, "I'm part of the universe, and I'm not against Toshimi." A surge of hatred towards humans begins to grow within the Neon. The challenge game was meant to be a source of fun and excitement, but now it's been distorted into a game of immense suffering. It decides to distance itself from the humans, unable to bear witness of what was happening, as it begins to experience a peculiar new feeling of intense anger. While sparkling and glowing, the Neon undergoes a gradual transformation. Cells multiply rapidly, and with its immense energy, neurons form, altering its appearance. Originally a luminous being that traveled millions of light-years from a black hole, sees the emergence of limbs coming out from its radiant form, until it fully resembled a grown human. The Neon absorbed all it had encountered on Earth, took form, but was left harboring an intense hatred for all humans. Now, it only desires to engage with them through games, utilizing its newfound power, luck. It aims to inflict suffering upon humans and ensure their certain crushing defeat, as its power always makes sure it wins. Game over for humans. Ventura, the gamer girl, is born. Subscribe to find out what happens next when more Neons morph into humans.